Hi, good afternoon. This is Brian with Roads Pro Consulting here on November 2nd, Thursday afternoon, providing this Zoom recorded training to hopefully help small businesses find contract opportunities with the Department of Energy. So today I've decided to pull together some of the questions I've received recently about how do I pursue government contracts with the Department of Energy, and what is the Department of Energy? Why are there so many different offices, all these different prime contractors, and who are they? As I've shared previously in previous contract Thursday afternoon meetings, I've shared, first of all, data analytics, where to find data analytics through USA Spending. I've talked about SAM.gov and what SAM.gov does, how it provides you an opportunity to register your business, but also helps you connect and see contract opportunities. But I'm going to show you a little bit of a nuance that can create difficulty for those those small businesses that are striving to work with prime contractors for the Department of Energy, and why that can be troublesome, and why isn't it listed on SAM.gov? So I'm going to share some of that information, and some of the information I share, I'm going to pull right from the Department of Energy website. So I'm going to share my screen today so that you can see some of those details. We're going to talk about the Department of Energy. We're going to talk about some of the offices within the Department of Energy, such as the Office of Science, the National Nuclear Security Administration, and also the environmental management locations. So, I live in Idaho, and here in this Southeast Idaho region, there's a number of prime contractors that work. They operate Department of Energy locations. So a lot of my friends, a lot of associates work for the Department of Energy, and they may see this and go, "Man, Brian, that was not right." But I'm going to do my best. I'm going to share my very best and share with you information that I believe to be accurate and true. So I worked at the Naval Reactors Facility, which is managed right now by Fluor. And I believe the title of the whole organization is Fluor Marine Propulsion Corporation. The Naval Reactors Facility works under the Naval Reactors Laboratory, or Naval Nuclear Laboratory. I think that's what it is. And they are a function under the Department of Energy, NNSA, but also the Department of Defense. So they work together. They receive dual funding. That's where I worked before I started working for Honeywell. And I worked for Honeywell for 5 years as a commodity manager and principal data analyst. I worked there I worked for Honeywell Federal Manufacturing and Technology, which is a prime contractor under the National Security Campus, which is a function under the NNSA, under the Department of Energy. Super alphabet soup and a lot of levels. And that's how the government works. There's a whole lot of level going on within the Department of Energy. So I'm going to share a little bit about the website, who runs the Department of Energy, and how it all breaks down. So here we go. I'm going to share my screen. We're just going to share real quick, pop up this website. This is the energy.gov website. If we go up to about, I think when we go there, it brings right up the leadership. We know the Department of Energy is ensuring America's security and prosperity by addressing its energy, environmental, and nuclear challenges through transformative science and technology solutions. It's led by Jennifer M. Granholm, and it was started in 1977. Their budget request to Congress, strategic plan and agency financial report, and annual. All of that information provides information to the Department of Energy's strategic goals and objectives. And then they have it's a huge organization. They're incredibly huge. And so I'm actually going to share all of that with you in just a minute. But to give some perspective, the federal government in FY23, which just ended September 30th, This isn't quite all of the data. $8.3 trillion was obligated, so that would mean there's a plan for it to be spent by the end of the fiscal year. That was 8.3 trillion. So 26.9% of that went to Department of Health and Human Services, 2 trillion, all the way down. So we get down to the 14th department, which is the Department of Energy. Their funding was $63 billion. So there's a little bit of change. And that's all to do the work that I just shared. So one thing I'm a little concerned about is this unreported data of $115 billion. Not sure where that is at, but that's only 1% of the total spend. So I'm sure it's not too significant, but it is a little alarming. I would assume that they have an idea, they just haven't published it yet. So now to get back to the about us with the Department of Energy, I'm going to move my face down here. So we're going to go to offices. Within the offices of the Department of Energy, this is a list of all the offices. There's program offices, there are staff offices, there are labs and technology centers, there are power marketing administration operation offices. Now, these operation offices are similar. Well, they have regions that they manage. So, for instance, Idaho Operations Office, they manage the Idaho National Laboratory in Idaho Falls. They also have oversight over the Idaho Cleanup Project, and so those are two of the prime contractors, which is Battelle Energy Alliance. They manage the Idaho National Laboratory, and then the Idaho Cleanup Project's managed by the Idaho Environmental Coalition. Idaho Environmental Coalitions, the two companies, and there may be more, but I know the two major companies that are that joined together to create the coalition is Jacobs Engineering and Northwind. So that's just some perspective on all that's going on. Other agencies under the Department of Energy, the National Security Administration, this is the one I'm most familiar with because I worked under the National Nuclear Security Administration, and I'm just going to share their quick website. And the Department of Energy has vast resources. They have a website like this for every organization under the Department of Energy to give you information. So if you're in an area, maybe someone's watching this from I don't know, maybe from Augusta, Georgia, and they want to go bid on a contract with the Savannah River Nuclear Solutions, there's a lot of opportunity there, and you can actually go right to their website. I think it was actually right there, Savannah River site. You can click on it, you can see what their mission is, what they're going after, and how they work under the National Nuclear Security Administration, but they're also integrated with the Office of Science. And that's the thing to see is it's all DOE. So underneath there could be some of the laboratories that work under NNSA, but also with Office of Science on separate projects. So the National Nuclear Security Administration, you're going to see a map right here, and that map actually will have Savannah River site right there, right? I actually worked out of Idaho and I was over this region, so I was able to visit SRS, or there's another contractor called SRNS, but I was able to travel there often, connect with them, but also with Y12, and then my home office was out of National Security Campus out of Kansas City. I worked for the Supply Chain Management Center, so this is kind of the hub of all of the different locations. And so we developed, I was part of an organization. The Supply Chain Management Center was developed to help all of these organizations become more strategic in the way they purchase their product. And anyway, it was a great experience for me to work there, but I learned a lot about supply chain and the opportunities that the federal government have. That's why I'm doing this now, to help suppliers connect with all these different locations if it fits. And really, it's best to start where you are. So if you're a contractor or a subcontractor that works with the Naval Reactors facility and you have a desire to expand and move to Los Alamos to work, those are opportunities that are out there. But it's best to start where you are and to really expand as you grow. Now these four that are highlighted in gray: Naval Reactors Facility, Bettis Atomic Power Lab, the Knowles Atomic Power Lab, and the Kesselring site. They're all part of the National Nuclear Propulsion Program, which is funded by the Department of Defense and Department of Energy, and that's why they're separated here. They have a vital function in helping of course, the aircraft carriers and the naval fleet with nuclear power and connecting nuclear power to those ships that are, of course, that fall under the Department of Defense. So that's where they fit. And then all of these are part of the National Nuclear Security Administration. So there's a weapons focus on with many of these locations, but also the laboratories. They tap into the laboratories to develop. There's research going on, but also use those developments to help them with their weapon and armory. So that is the I used to work with the Naval Reactors Facility, and sometimes within the government names change, and so it's now called the Naval Nuclear Laboratory Enterprise, and that's what this is all. As you see here on the map, it's all below there. So that's an example of all of the NNSA locations. There are national labs. This is just helping us understand the Office of Science Laboratories, who they are. The Ames is in Iowa. There are a lot of different offices. And these guys usually have a connection to a university that's close by to help with that Office of Science research and opportunity that's there. One of the closest to us, where I live in Idaho, of course, is the Idaho National Lab, but it kind of falls under an other category, other energy department right here. But Pacific Northwest National Laboratory is in Richland, Washington. We have a lot of them in the West, a lot of different opportunities. And so that's why this is really important to know as a small business. Where can I take my skills and my knowledge and my talents to go help a supplier? As a supplier, where can I go help an organization such as Los Alamos National Laboratory or Sandia National Laboratory, which are two of the largest NNSA laboratories. Lawrence Livermore, of course, is also very large, but there's a lot of funding flowing there, a lot of great things happening in those locations. So as a small business that's looking for opportunity, maybe you're a roofing company and you're looking for the opportunity to connect with these suppliers. There's a ton of, I said suppliers, with these prime contracts. Maybe there's a prime contractor that you could connect with that works under the Los Alamos National Laboratory, and you can connect. For instance, with the National Nuclear Security Administration, which oversee all those different locations I just shared. The Honeywell Federal Manufacturing and Technology was a prime contractor that worked to make sure that the Department of Energy they made sure everything was operating the way that it was supposed to. So the Department of Energy will go out for bid and they'll connect. So for instance, of course, the Department of Energy manages that location. Here in Idaho, they manage the Idaho National Laboratory. Well, what they'll do is they'll go out for bid, and they'll bring in a couple of the competitors like Fluor or Battelle or Bechtel or Honeywell, or maybe these organizations will combine and they'll create a new consortium that they can bid on this as a joint venture. The Department of Energy, they go out for bid and they then select a contractor that will then oversee that as a management and operating office, or they'll create a prime contract between the Department of Energy and a company like Battelle Energy Alliance or Fluor or Honeywell and maybe Bechtel. There's a huge opportunity out there for all of those large companies, but then under those large companies, there are established subcontract agreements that can be awarded, and those opportunities aren't always listed on SAM.gov. They're rarely listed on SAM.gov. So it's important to know that and to understand that it's really beneficial to connect with individuals that work under those prime contracts. So with the Idaho National Laboratory, they have a small business program manager. It's really great to connect with that individual and then connect with other buyers that are working in that under that prime contract. When you're a small business and you're trying to connect with them, it's vital that you find, well, first register your company with SAM.gov, but also register your company with the location you're interested in working for. So if you want to work for the Idaho National Laboratory, you're going to have to register your company under their registration platform within INL.gov. So that's really important. I hope I didn't get on too much of a tangent there, but there are a lot of offices, a lot of things happening within the Department of Energy. Another office is actually that's really large is the Office of Environmental Management. This office actually, I think they have a map here. They have a presence all over the United States, and they have cleanup sites all over the place. So they're cleaning up waste from nuclear sites, and you can see these cleanup sites in this website. So I looked to see if there were really two in Idaho. I think this is an error. When I click on this, it brings up Richland, Washington. So there's a presence though all over the United States. And as we saw in the previous screen, there's probably more offices than it's showing right here. These are actually cleanup sites, and there are a number of them that are already completed, but they're cleaning up in locations like Idaho, where there was an advanced reactor over in Hanford, Washington, where there's reactors, and so some of the cleanup is, some of the even just canisters and gloves and hazmat suits. They're throwing them into containers to make sure that they're cleaned up and they're disposed of properly. So a lot of great things happening, right? There's cleanup sites within the Office of Environmental Management. These guys are also going out and they're connecting with small business, trying to find suppliers that are like you, great suppliers that can do work for them. And they're doing there's a huge range of work. There's work, on construction or tearing down, demobilization. There's transportation, logistics. Some of the federal opportunities that I've seen, maybe they don't go out for logistics too, because sometimes they have their own fleet, but there could be logistics services to transport, and they're subbing that out. They're trying to maintain their facilities that manage their offices, but they're also, of course, in the demobilization phase. So within environmental management, there's a different mission than there is with the Office of Science. The National Nuclear Security Administration has a different mission, but they're all under the Department of Energy. There's one really cool site I went to once called the National Renewable Energy Laboratory, NREL. It provides energy efficiency. They're looking for ways to become more efficient in our energy usage. So I got on a bus and it was all powered by hydrogen. So you know what? There's a ton of cool things out there. A lot of opportunity for business growth, and they're looking to sub out a lot of their work. And so as I fielded some questions from some of my local clients that I help that were interested in how to pursue these government contracts, I wanted to come on today to share what the Department of Energy is, how they work, and how they have different offices within the Department of Energy and how they function. And each of these, you can, like, if we go to, let's say we go to the offices, we go to the Office of science. Within the Office of Science, you can see that there's an About Us page, and there's leadership under the Office of Science. So they have a structure set up just like the Department of Energy, but there's people that work within different operations under those offices. So it's critical for a small business to understand the landscape, to see, okay, this is what I want to go do. I want to go help I want to go work at the Idaho National Laboratory. Well, there's a lot to do to prepare for that. Yeah, you can do it. You need to be prepared to go after those opportunities, but also understand what the landscape's like and the culture's like. And you know what? I'm learning still as a business owner who is now outside of the Department of Energy. I do have some knowledge, but there's still a lot of things I'm learning. And so I just absolutely want to help small business growth, and I want to help individuals find their niche that will help them discover great success within this great vast world of the Department of Energy and government contracting. There's huge opportunity and potential. So please reach out with any questions you may have. My phone number is 208-360-5008. You can also, if you see this video out there, just respond in a comment, or you can always email me at brian@rhodesproconsulting.com. I look forward to connecting with you, and I'm grateful that I had the opportunity today to share some of the information I've learned. And there's more out there. There's more information to gain, and there's connections to be made. And I look forward to helping you with those. Thank you for your time. I hope you have a great day.